And welcome back, my fellow fiends, to Let's Play Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. We are in the bonus dungeon, the Shrine Bando, and we are actually going to be taking care of this shrine as well as the final boss in this video. So this one might be a little bit longer than usual, but I will do some editing as a lot of the fights we're going to be getting into here are pretty repetitive, so it's not really critical that I show them off in explicit detail. Actually, we ran into a new enemy here. This is Barang. He is one part of the fusion for Shiva, a very powerful demon. You fuse him with Rangda, and you will get Shiva, so that's pretty cool right there. Now, I do want to go over real quick my demons. I basically used up the bulk of my funds to boost up Harlot, Wukong, and Uriel. These are the demons that I plan on using for the final boss fight. As you can see, I've pretty much just brought them up to the cap, or as close as possible as they can get to it. I also gave, well, for their attacking stats anyway, I also gave them enough Kusi or Saki Mitamas to bring their HP a decent amount over 600. It's pretty critical that we have at least 600 HP on everyone for the bonus boss fight that I'm about to do, as well as the final boss fight. It is a very good idea. Now, Bando has these glowing panels that'll warp you to different sections of the cloister, and we will come across these pillars that we can drop down. Once you lower a pillar, it will summon up a boss, and I guess as a bit of a cruel prank, the absolute hardest of the bosses is the first one available. Hey, it's Bishamon. It's been a while since we've seen him. We, of course, got Gundari from him, and he was ready and waiting for us. And Bishamon is by far the toughest of the bosses here. First off, he gets to go first. And he has Dragon's Eye, and he is most likely going to start with, okay, he didn't. The reason you want to have, what was it, at least 600 HP is because for his opening gambit, and Wukong might die here, but that's not a... Oh, I forgot, Endure. Alright, for his opening gambit, one of the things that he can do is use Masakado 4 times, and then drop Megidolan on your head, and that will do about 600 damage to everyone, and possibly more, so if you are not particularly lucky, that can be a really disastrous thing to have happen. So yeah, that is why you want to have at least 600 HP. Once we get past the opening turn, we don't have to worry too much about what else he can do. He has Deikaja, but I'm not overly concerned about that. Debilitate is pretty annoying, but it is not a huge deal since, of course, what is it, Harlot can just get rid of that with her own Dekunda. One noticeable thing that I'm kind of lacking on my team here is a Deikaja user, but for any situation where I might need it, I'll probably have enough Deikaja rocks to get by. So yeah, once we get past the opening turn, this fight becomes a lot easier. I'm going to pass to Uriel to get another Debilitate in. I forget what buffs specifically Bishamon has. He definitely has Masakado. He likes to use that a lot, especially on turns where he uses Dragon's Eye. Yeah. On these turns where we get hit by those chained... what was it, debilitates, we'll definitely just want to pass to get to Harlot. And then once we have our own debilitate set in, I think Uriel can also just kind of pass on turns where I don't need healing from him. Let's get another focus going. And let's throw up a Tarukaja here. It might trick him into using Deikaja instead, which would be preferable to deal with over... what is it? Debilitate. Okay, he's probably going for his 4 Masakado Megidolan combo here. Yep, there he goes. Now, if he does that again, I'll definitely want to use a Deikaja rock on him, but I'm not overly concerned about it, so let's get Rakukaja going. We'll get a Medea Rahan up, and again, if I can get him to use... what was it, Deikaja again? I say what was it, I'm really just trying to pad out my sentences so I can recall the words I want to say. Then we will do Deikaja, but otherwise we can just get by with Rakukajas and the residual Debilitate debuff on him. Okay, so let's pass here, we'll do another Dekunda here. And then, at this point, the fight just kind of slowly chugs along at the pace that we're going to be doing. So, get the focus going there. And I'll have Wukong do a brutal slash here. Hopefully I can roll a crit and extend the turn, but it's not a huge deal if we don't. And I didn't, so, you know. That's just what we got to deal with. Yeah, Debilitate's pretty frustrating because it prevents me from doing a Tarukaja and actually getting any kind of offense boost out of it. But that's not a huge deal. I don't know if Harlot is ever going to get a chance to use that focused attack that I got for her, but it's not a huge deal if she doesn't. And I'm pretty content with the loop we've got him in here. Nice, nice. This might be her chance, actually. Get him with another brutal slash. No crit, but it's not a huge deal. And let's just hit him, give him some bites. Alright, he's probably going for another 4x Makakaja here. Oh, no, he actually has Tarukaja. Now, like I said, Bishamon is by far the hardest to start with, so I'm not overly... Oh, geez, yeah, he just really wrecked himself there. For the remaining bosses, the fights are actually fairly repetitive with them. Let me see, use focus here. So I'm probably going to edit them down a bit, just so this video is not super long. I'll go over their basic attack patterns. Let's go for a brutal slash just to see if we can roll the crit now. I'll go over their basic attack patterns, but I'll likely just cut to the end of the fight otherwise. Okay, here comes Prominence. Might be a little risky here. Not super concerned. Okay, we don't have anything to worry about. Well, we do have Wukong dying, and I have rolled my Endure, but that's not a huge deal. And of course, we've got Soul Return, so I can just bring Wukong back once this fight is over. Alright, let's pass there. Hit him with the Spiral Viper. Actually, I focused on Harlot. Yeah, let's get back to her. Have her do that attack. And yeah, that's about all there is to say about this fight. So let's... Now, another thing that he can do is he can use Tempest. And it would be really nice if he did that so that we can reflect his attack back at him. Oh, jeez. Okay, now we're actually in a really dire situation. It is very unfortunate that Harlot died there. Uh-oh. This might be bad. Let me see. Soul Return is at the bottom. Yeah, we'll pass. Get her back in. This is gonna be a bit of a do or die moment, since obviously the Demi-Fiend, his Endure has already rolled. So if he gets taken out, that's it. We've lost the fight. Hopefully he uses Tempest here and just bounces it back at himself. Yes, okay, that was lucky. Very good. Alright, let's get the Medea Rahan up. We'll definitely have to restore Uriel's MP come next turn, so let me see. Is Focus already in effect? No, it's not. Let's pass to Harlot and throw down a Debilitate, just to bring his attacking power down a little bit. Yeah, a bit overkill on the MP expenditure, but it's my only real option. I suppose I could have also done Rakukaja, but just didn't really consider that option, I suppose. Luckily, he's going for a much weaker attack here. Now, for my Magatama, I actually do have Gaia set, and let me do some passing here. Let's get a focus on the Harlot. I actually do have Gaia set, since we don't have to worry about its weaknesses here, and it gives a very, very sizable, what was it, HP boost, which allows me to more reliably survive his attacks. Do have to stall a little bit here, but that's okay. This fight's taking a lot longer than I expected. I did not remember how much HP this guy has. Fortunately, we're in a pretty good situation now. Yeah, just bounce that back at yourself. Nice. Yeah, let's get the Medea Rahan in. And yeah, I can just easily use the Chakra Elixir to bring Uriel back up to a point where he can cast that. Alright, that's already in effect. Let's hit him with Spiral Viper. Hopefully this is the killing blow. Yes, alright. Yeah, that was a little rough there. Not the best I've ever had that fight go, but the last time I fought this guy, I was much, much higher level. I was in my personal file where I was already well past level 99. We'll just keep investing in strength. Let me see, we got Deathbound. I don't care about that. Deadly Fury is superior. We can learn Avenge from this. What does Gaia do if we let it react? Yeah, that's decent enough. Alright, so that was a pretty brutal fight there, but that is by far the hardest one. If we can defeat him, we can use a similar strategy to defeat the rest of them. So let's bring everybody back in. And let's use a Chakra Pot on Uriel, and then 2 Chakra Drops on the Harlot, and we are good. We will have the MP we need for another fight. Now, like I said, every fight after this is much, much easier than Bishamon. In fact, they're fairly repetitive, and they all have similar strategies. The main thing they kind of differentiates them is that they have differing buffs and debuffs they'll throw out. Additionally, another thing that makes them a lot easier is that Bishamon is the only one who goes first. His lordship, you say? I was trying to remember if these guys were called the 4 Devas or not, but yes, we have to defeat the 4 Devas. Let me see, there is Bishamon, Zochu, Komoko, and Jikoku. Bishamon is the only one you can't fuse by default, funnily enough, or, well, interestingly enough. You, of course, have to defeat him at the Kimon Shrine in order to access his fusion. Actually, I believe we want to go this way first. One thing that is a bit weird about the Bando Shrine is that the ramps are, like, very sheer, and it's actually really difficult to tell if you can go down a section until you just, like, get right up to it. Like, see, I couldn't tell there. Let me see. We want to wrap around here. Now, you've probably noticed I'm not getting into too many encounters. A lot of the enemies in Bando are actually extremely low level relative to what you're most likely going to be at by the time you get here. So it's pretty easy to just throw up a Stoma and walk by most of them, and pretty desirable, honestly, since we've already done plenty of combat, and it is much easier to get through this area without having to deal with constant encounters. Pisaka, you've put in so much good work in this Let's Play. I appreciate you. Definitely one of the best shady broker deals you can get. I was kind of surprised at how little I ended up using the skills off of Nue in this playthrough. I've just gotten so much better at, like, economizing my MP usage and getting to different sections with more in the tank so that I don't have to worry about having a Makatora MP battery. So, like, I think the only situation where I really made serious use of that was in the Obelisk, and otherwise there was just some light grinding I did in the Amala Temple where that came in handy. Over here we have Komoku, I'm sorry. And like I said, all of the Devas after Bishamon, they go second, so it's much easier to deal with them. We actually get to set up a little bit going into this. And we'll just take a look at what Zochu does. He has Elect Magic. I actually took some notes on these guys. One other thing he can do that's a little bit dangerous, and also I forgot to change my Magatama. It's not a huge deal, though. I only care about that if I go against a Force-using Deva. One thing he can do is that if he procs Shock on your characters, he will utilize a combo where he uses Beast Eye, Focus, and then attacks the shocked character. So you definitely want to watch out for that. Otherwise, I'm just going to buff up my attack, then debilitate him to bring his defense back down, and use my Focus Spiral Vipers on him. So I'll cut to the end of this. Alright, there we go. Also, I was misreading my notes slightly. Kamuko is not the one who uses Elect, he actually uses Force. So I made that situation a little harder on myself by keeping Gaia equipped, but it wasn't a huge deal. Since he's, most of his turns are actually Dragon's Eyes turns, he does not get any press turn advantage from actually exploiting a weakness, should you have one. Okay, and Uriel learns his final skill, Radiance. I'm never going to use it, but by that same extension, I'm never going to use Watchful either, so I might as well get rid of that. Very appreciative of any vitality we get at this point. It is very, very important that we actually have access to high HP. Now that I'm done with Gaia, let's switch over to the more reliable Kamudo. Obviously, don't get as good stats from that, but it is much, much safer against these boss fights, who do not even bother to use ailments on you. Yeah, it was just amazing to me replaying this game, and I just noticed how good Kamuto is in hard mode, because you're always just dealing with that risk of enemies throwing out multi-targeting physical attacks or strong physical attacks, rolling crits, and Kamuto makes those so much more survivable. Any new enemies here? Nah, just more Barangs, but you know, we can get a little bit of fight in for fun. Let's use a Hades Blast here. And we'll finish this guy off with a Spiral Viper. These guys do actually get pretty good experience, but they don't appear nearly often enough for me to say that this is a good grinding spot. Well, actually, they give considerably less than I thought. Yeah, if you want to do any grinding, and you will definitely be doing that if you're aiming for the time trials and the true bonus boss, or the true final boss, rather, you definitely want to grind inside the Tower of Kagetsuchi 3. All the enemies there just give really, really good experience. There we get a cash cube containing 50,000 Maka, which is nothing to shake a stick at. At this point, now we have to contend with the maze of Bando here, and I have to try and recall which way is the correct way. I think we need to take that downward incline. Also, I am really uncertain of what the level cutoff for Astoma is for blocking encounters. Every time I think I've got it figured out in this game, I keep running into things that I feel like I shouldn't. It's very bizarre. Looks like I missed a pillar since we're already at the bottom, but that's okay. I'll double back and find it. Let me see here. And yes, his lordship is in that big central shrine, the shrine of the Bando Shrine. Alright, so let's get over here. Oh, whoops, wrong ramp. Silly me. I should have been able to tell that was the incorrect ramp. Anyways, heading up into here. Oh, hey, actually, new demon, Skatak. Skatak is actually a bit of a weird demon to get. She's another evolution demon. I believe she evolves from... No, wait. She is the final demon of the Megami tier, and she actually evolves into a new demon. She evolves into Skadi, the ultimate demon of the Lady class, I believe. I'll be showing off all the demons in my fully completed file, so I'll be sure to have a fusion chart to go over all the evolutions and special demons we can fuse. With that acknowledged, let's lower this pillar down. And we will run into Jikoku, the weakest of the Devas. He's pretty similar to Zochu, who we haven't fought yet. But he is ice-focused, and he will attempt to do Beast Eye and focus on anybody who gets frozen, making him a bit more dangerous than Zochu, because obviously Frozen overrides your physical resistance and makes it a guaranteed crit. So that can be pretty dangerous, like the Harlot would be fully vulnerable to that kind of thing. But we'll just see his standard MO for attacking, and then I will cut to the end of the fight. Alright, so like the others, he opens up with Dragon Eye, uses Makakasha to bring himself up, and starts throwing out the ice magic. Hopefully we can get a few dodges here, but he's not particularly damaging with that stuff. Yeah, that's what you can expect from him, so I'll get to the end of this. Oh man, look at that damage. And that's not even the apex of what you can hope to do in this game. But that is Jikoku taken care of, and I probably should start using these incenses I've been getting from these guys. So yeah, let's throw those on. Yeah, you get some nice stat boosts for doing this quest also, but that is not the main reason you want to do this. Now that we've taken out Jikoku, we just have one more Deva to defeat, one more pillar to drop, and we will be able to get our ultimate reward for getting all the Magatama in this game. And trust me, it is absolutely worth it to do this if you're doing a completionist playthrough, especially if you're doing the Amala time trials. It's going to be fun to show those off. They're not exactly difficult, but some of them, depending on the demon setups you have, and if you don't feel like doing tons of obnoxious prep work, some of them can be a little luck-based. Oh, actually, new demon here. Odin, one of the ultimates of the deity demon class. Not really anything special to say about him, though. We can just totally dumpster him with physical attacks. Yeah, there's just a lot of these demons that are pretty unique to here, but they're still weaker than what you can encounter outside of Bondo, so it's just not much to say about them. I guess Odin's pretty decent if you can fuse him at a time where he would be useful to you, but otherwise, again, there's not really too much to say about him, so let me see here. I forget which way we have and haven't been. Yeah, Bondo, you cannot use your map, so you have to navigate your way through here without it. Pretty similar to the Hell areas in the Amala Temple, or not Amala Temple, the Labyrinth of Amala. Oh, I think I went past the incline that we needed to take. Alright, but we're getting there, we're getting there. Just one more David to defeat, we can get our reward, get out of here, and see the end of the game. And I did confirm that I got the proper ending. I was actually kind of nervous that I got the wrong ending, because the dialogue prompts in this version of the game are different from the ones in the HD version. And also, I've never just messed around with partially following a reason then backing out on it on the second choice, so I wasn't sure if that would affect anything, but we are on the ending path that I want to be on. Here is the pillar. Let's get our final Deva in. Very elongated pillar dropping sequence. And here we have the guy who I was talking about earlier, Zochu. Alright, bring it on, buddy. Now this guy is pretty similar to Jikoku, just swap Ice for Elec, and that's much less threatening because Elec does not actually overwrite your physical resistance, so he does not exactly do amazing damage when it comes right down to it. Also, he has to deal with the unfortunate fact that I have Harlot in, who drains Elec, so he's most likely going to end up wasting a lot of his turns here, which is good for me. So, yeah, I have been using literally the same strategy, just max out Debilitate, max out Tarakaja, use the Focus Spiral Vipers, and we will be good there. Here he comes with his Makakaja, here comes Boltstorm, and there goes his turn. That's what this fight's gonna be like. I'll cut to you at the end of it. Haha, same again. I always love seeing those big numbers pop up. It is possible to hit 5-digit damage in this game. I've done it before. But I haven't really seen anything beyond about 11,000. Since the game does not have any like formal defense calculations aside from Rakukaja and defense debuffs, I don't really think you can get it much higher than that. Like, level difference isn't a factor like it is in different games in the series. Conveniently, once the shrine drops down, it creates a bunch of openings, or rather, additional ramps we can go on to get straight to where we need to be, which is, of course, this front section right here. Heading into the Inner Sanctum, do we have another fight awaiting us? Well, thankfully, no, actually. What we do have awaiting us... that's just me, the Demi-Fiend, Cullen, you know, your bro. We have Masakado here, and Masakado, they made a unique avatar for him, or rather, model for him, but he is not a demon that you can fuse, nor is he one that you even fight. But what we do get from him, we just wanted to, I just wanted to say hi. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yes, actually, I am on the path to do so. And we get the Magatama Masakados. That is a unique Magatama that actually adds an additional slot to your Magatama screen. Alright, I'll do my best, Masakado. And what does it do for you? Well, plus 10 to all stats, and it nullifies everything except Almighty. On top of that, what you learn from it, in addition to Megi Dalaun, which is pretty useless at this point, you also get the passives that repel everything. So you can make the Demi-Fiend pretty close to immortal with this Magatama if you so desire to go that route. You probably noticed that while it gives plus 10 to everything, it does not give it to luck, which ironically means that once you get up to 30 points in every stat, luck is the only thing that's really worth investing in at that point, but that's not going to matter in this playthrough. So, yeah. Now, I'm not going to use Masakados because while the final boss does have a lot of almighty attacks, same as most bosses at this point in the game, I still feel that it is kind of cheap, especially because the boss does have plenty of attacks that would be nullified by Masakados, so I'm going to skip on actually using Masakados and just stick to Kamudo. The most threatening attacks from the final boss are almighty anyway, so I'm going to have to use the strategies that I want to use to avoid some trouble with that regardless. And that is it for Bondo. We can leave here. You may have noticed that there are no save points in Bondo, so if you come here, your option's either to do it in one shot, like I did, or you can just leave and go back to the Assembly Nihilo Marunouchi entrance and save there between fights, but like I said, Bishamon is by far the hardest of the fights available here, so if you can defeat him, you can easily defeat the others, as I did. Now that that's taken care of, I will meet you at the top of the Tower of Kagetsuchi. Alright, here we are, back at floor 666, ready to end the game. It's been a very, very long road, and a long while coming for this Let's Play series in general, but it's impressive. We managed to make it here, and honestly, much more quickly and with far fewer headaches than I was expecting. There was a lot of additional work I had to do outside of the Let's Play, but I really enjoyed working on this, and I'm glad I got back to it. Now, you have to offer up the stones that you have gotten up to this point to the X chromosome altars here in order to actually ascend the Kagetsuchi. I don't believe it matters what order you put these in, but just for like a personal preference, I like to go from left to right, placing the Heaven Stone, the Earth Stone, and the Nether Stone. Again, I don't think it matters what order you place these in. Get a bit of an extended sequence of the altars powering up. Put our Earthstone. And then, once this is powered up, we can complete the Trinity with the Netherstone, the representation of heaven, earth, and hell, all combined together to allow us to reach the Kagetsuchi. It would be funny if I said none at this point. Once you have placed all the stones, the path in the center lights up, and we have proven ourselves worthy. We can ascend to Kagetsuchi now and realize our reason. But what even is our reason? We do not support any of the reasons established by Chiaki, Isamu, or Hikawa. We do not follow Shijima, Yasuga, or Musubi. And there are actually two things that can, well, technically three, but two things, as far as this playthrough is concerned, that can happen here, depending on some of the choices you made throughout the game. Now, if you had responded to Mystikau that you were afraid of what could happen trying to pursue a reason, and partially this is also influenced by answering that you're a demon to Mithra, you would reach this point and the Kagetsuchi would basically completely blow you off, saying that you have no reason and you're just agent of chaos, and that he's not even going to entertain you at all. So in that situation, the final boss would actually be either Isamu or Chiaki, depending on who you fought first. But since we are not afraid of the potential of going without the support of any god, and we're just following our own heart, we long for the kingdom of freedom, a world with no set future. In fact, we basically just want to recreate the world as it was. This whole thing is stupid. We hate it. All of our friends turned on us, and we had to kill them, and we've just been locked into constant difficult battles the entire time that we are here. Yeah, condescend to somebody who cares. And, since we follow the path of freedom, Kagetsuchi decides to fight us. Alright, I'd like to see what you have for us, pal. Now, in every other version of this, the ending, the Kagetsuchi will fight you instead in an effort to test you. Here, though, there is no such test. He just wants to quash us. Now, you absolutely want to prioritize getting Rakukaja set up for this fight. Also, you probably noticed the Kagetsuchi is like a giant, godly disco ball. And it's actually got a nice little thudding beat to go along with him. I really appreciated that when I first got to this point, when I first played this game. But yeah, you definitely want to get Rakukaja up, because the damage this guy can be pretty intense. Not so much off the elemental magic, but he has other options that you want to be wary of. And I definitely want to focus on getting my offense out once I'm fully set up on everything. So set up on stuff like Tarukaja, Debilitate, Rakukaja. I'm not gonna do any more Rakukajas at this point, just because it would be a waste of time if he Deikajas them up. 4 Debilitates, 2 Rakukajas. That should allow us to cover for anything nasty he might do. And we definitely want to keep our HP topped off here, so at this point we're going to start doing Tarukajas. We're going to do Medea Rahan here. I'll have Harlot focus, and then we'll just pass. And like I said, we want to be completely maxed out once we press our offensive to maximize the damage we do as best we can. And honestly, in hindsight, at the end of the last video when we fought Ball, I had the opportunity to learn Tarukaja on the Demi-Fiend. I really wish I had taken that opportunity in the previous video. It would have been a much more sensible thing to do. Alright, now we're basically maxed out at this point, so let's start pressing our offense. Uriel, he'll only really do real damage if Prominence rolls twice, which it did not there. Here we're going to start using Hades Blast and Spiral Viper to start really laying into this guy. As you can see, we separate up his disco blocks when we hit him. His physical attack is Almighty type, so your characters who are immune to that... Oh, we were already at the limit. I lost track of how many I had placed out. Alright, at that point, then we can actually have Wukong start getting in on the offensive himself. Brutal Slash will deal really good damage with his maxed out strength, though obviously it cannot compare to the focused Spiral Viper. And what is he doing here? Ooh, boy, that was spicy. But yes, Vast Light is his ultimate attack. It is a multi-target almighty attack that does huge damage. Without any buffs or debuffs up in place, it can do over 600 to 700 damage on hard mode. That is why it's so critical to have both Debilitate and Rakukaja in play. It does insane damage if you don't have both those things working for you. Nice, the crit is much appreciated there. And yeah, even without focus, Wukong still does some pretty appreciable damage. It just doesn't compare to stuff like focused Hades Blast, especially when it crits, and focused Spiral Viper. I've never been able to get focus onto him just because it's always been too much of a hassle to do it for Oncut. And just for safety's sake, we better get Medea Rahan. Also, you probably noticed, when he uses Vast Light, that automatically ends his turn, so you don't have to worry about surviving much past that. Alright. Just gonna have Uriel pass here. Let's get our focuses going. And we actually, it would be a good idea to not over-damage him too much, because you probably expect that the fight's not going to be this easy. There is, in fact, a second phase after we damage him enough, and actually we got the damage there, so my concerns were unfounded. Now he's become the godly face. Fortunately, we get to start our turn right out, so we don't have to worry about getting all our stuff back in place if he decides to remove it. At this point, he does have access to Deikaja and Dekunda, so we could see our hard work just tossed away unceremoniously, but that's not the end of the world. We can just do it again. Okay, and I definitely want to heal in case he goes on the offensive after removing either buffs or debuffs. At this point, the Kagetsuchi will start saying vague things. Oh! Okay. I forgot when you get him over certain HP thresholds, he goes through some dialogue, and that causes him to skip his turn, which is rather unfortunate for him, actually. Oh boy. This guy's not about to have a fun time. In fact, if we get another critical Brutal Slash, we may just push him past another dialogue threshold. We did not, but let's see what happens. Okay, here comes Infinite Light. Fortunately, Infinite Light, when the... Okay, we need to do Medea Rahan. And let's check something. Okay, he's still oh, wow, that just did some unreal damage. Okay, you know what? We need to get another Rakugaja in place. Jeez, I forgot That was when Infinite Light becomes really powerful. Yeesh. Okay, that's much less threatening. Okay, so now we can start pressing our offensive again. Ooh, yeah, that is where it really becomes nasty. Fortunately, we had the Endurer on Wukong there, so he wasn't taken out. Alright, get that in. Let's get a Spiral Viper in. And we'll definitely want to pass to Uriel and get us up to max at this point. It is just not a good idea to have anything less than 600 HP when you're on an Infinite Light turn. Okay, so he has his dialogue there. Let's, we'll decide how our turn goes based on what happens here. Okay, he did not crit, so we're just gonna get our focuses in. Actually, it was a little... Maybe I should have had Harlot Rakukaja there. This is not a huge deal. We definitely want Wukong to pass. We need him to pass. He is under 600 HP, and Infinite Light could just absolutely destroy him at this point. And yeah, if you did not have 2 Rakukajas in place and a full stack of Debilitate, Infinite Light would have just destroyed you there. So yeah, this guy is not to be underestimated. You want to have those things fully maxed out when he hits those Infinite Light turns. Yeesh, that was brutal. I do appreciate that he actually choreographs when an Infinite Light is coming, though. And he's starting to fidget quite a bit, so we're definitely at the point where he's on his last legs. Alright. Better safe than sorry. Okay, he's going to do Infinite Light again. Alright, so let's hit him with Brutal Slash. And we'll start passing, get our focuses back in place. And now that he's under, like, he only does about 500 damage with it, I'm not overly concerned. And even if, like, my entire team gets decimated right here, I'm pretty sure a Focus Spiral Viper from the Demi-Fiend will finish him off, so we can just do that. Here comes Infinite Light. Let's just tank that to the face. There we go. No problem. Alright, this should be his final turn. Oh, yeah, I could have Brutal Slashed and finished him off there, but I wanted to err on the side of caution. It would be tragic to have to just die right at the end there and redo the fight. Oh, you know it. That's the whole reason I came here. Perhaps from your perspective, but we actually really liked the world we had. We had a good thing. I had friends, so I'd rather go back to it. And if we end up suffering or destroying ourselves, well, that's our own fault, and I don't really appreciate that you were judging us for that. You know, you're not much better, pal. You would have advocated for social Darwinism before you would have advocated for people being able to make their own decisions. And with the Kagetsuchi destroyed, his power is unleashed, and where are we? Ooh. Is that all a dream? Ah, yeah, right. We agreed to meet her today. Huh, that was wild. And at this point, we get an email that gives us a nice little epilogue of the world that we fought for. And yeah, it wasn't a dream. You didn't think all that was a dream. Mysticao is here is just confirming for us that yes, we did indeed go through all that to restore the world to what we knew it as. Yeah, I know that feeling. When you're depressed, it just makes so much like, all the things around you seem so much worse. But it looks like everybody, our friends, Hijiri, even Hikawa, have come back to life, and it looks like they're leading a much better life. And yeah, there's a lot wrong in the world, but we can always do our best to try and make it just a little bit better. I know this ending's pretty hokey, but I really like this one. It's just very uplifting, and I'm glad that everybody was able to come back and get a second chance to do the right thing this time. And that was the freedom ending of Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. The ending that we fought for, the ending that was 6 years in the making, and just the end of this Let's Play, although, well, not the end of this Let's Play, but the end of this game, and we will have 2 more videos, one where I've mentioned this repeatedly. I'll be taking on the Amala Time Trials, and then the other, we will be seeing the alternative final boss that happens when you are on the True Demon route. So get excited for that. We've got 2 more videos before the Let's Play is finished. But I think I can do a bit of a closing send-off to the game here, since it's appropriate to do that for a credit sequence. First off, I just want to make sure I don't forget this. Huge shout-out to my viewer Keith K, who left a comment on Part 13, just saying that he enjoyed the Let's Play, and it really did inspire me to get back to this. For so long, I thought about getting back to this, but you know how it is. If you don't think somebody would care, you wouldn't really want to, but, I mean, this obviously did not get very many views, but it was very cathartic for me to just go back to something that I did or started 6 years ago and just abandoned due to a mixture of personal issues that I didn't feel like working out between tech and just my general depressive mindset at the time that really held me back from wanting to correct it. It was very nice to go back to this, and I hope I was able to share a lot with you about this game, and maybe even interest people to play it themselves, or even help people who are in the process of playing it who wanted a comprehensive, commentated way to figure out how they should approach the different fights of the game. I've spent a lot of time playing this game to figure out how it works, figure out good strategies for how to get to it, and I hope I was able to demonstrate that for you. I feel like I did a pretty good job overall. And yeah, just for everybody who watched, especially if you got through the videos from years ago that kind of had rough and inconsistent quality, I thank you so much for watching this far and actually seeing the ending that we got. Very appreciative of all the views that I get, and anybody who leaves comments and supports or anything. Just makes me so thankful to get that, and makes this feel a lot more worth it. Even if it's not much, I can appreciate that somebody actually cared enough to watch this video all the way through, see the ending we got, see the work that I put into it, so thank you so much. Of course, I want to thank Atlas, the big K himself, Cosmiconico, for putting together this wonderful game. Having gotten really in-depth with this game, I will definitely say this is definitely my favorite Shin Megami Tensei game on the PS2. It's just so well designed across the board, and the only real criticism I have of it is, you know, there are those sadistic aspects to it, and kind of archaic aspects, such as, like, the skills being not able to... You can't relearn skills after you unlearn them. So it is pretty unfriendly to beginners, but if you are a fan of the SMT series, of the style, the press turn system, this is high quality stuff. I would strongly recommend you play this game if you loved games like SMT4 or SMT5 and you haven't had a chance to play this one. Check it out. It is well worth your time. If you want a game that's similar but not quite as sadistic, I've also played Digital Devil Saga. It's a much more beginner-friendly series that I don't feel is as consistently well-designed, but it's much easier to get into, and it hits similar notes, so definitely check that out if you like what you see here but don't want to be as heavily challenged, maybe. And, of course, just check out all the PS2 SMT games if you liked what you saw here. There are just so many great ones on there. You know, the obvious ones that everybody knows are the Persona games. There are more modern versions of those available, of course, such as Persona 4 Golden is available on Steam. It's going to be available on the Nintendo Switch in the near future. I would highly recommend checking out both versions of Persona 3 if you can handle that. Persona 3 FES is my preferred version of the game, and I'd strongly encourage checking that one out. You can get it on the PlayStation 3 PSN. The PSP version of the game will be coming to Switch and PC in the near future, so that's something you can check out too. And of course, you can check out the Raido Kuzunoha sub-series, Digital Devil Saga as aforementioned, or even some of the DS games like Devil Survivor are also very fun games to play. And since I've been yammering over it, I really strongly encourage you track down the OST for this game. All the songs are obviously available on YouTube, and listen to this ending credits theme. Probably one of my favorite songs in the SMT series as a whole. It just, especially when you get an uplifting ending like the Freedom ending, this just really is a nice cap off to your journey. Yeah, but thank you so much for everybody who's watched and either left likes or comments or just any little bit of encouragement. Even if you didn't do that, just your views in general, I super duper appreciate it. It was very, very satisfying for me to come back to something I had abandoned so long ago and actually do my best to finish it. And I hope that it came across how much this meant to me and that I did a good job getting the game across to you. This has been Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, presented to us by Atlas. I am your demi-fiend. You are my fellow fiends who have watched this, and I will see you in my next video.